Welcome, viewers. This is Tommy Slaughter once again from the A Vision Show, A Vision Entertainment LLC. We have this legendary hip hop artist is Bootie Brown, aka I like to say Mr. Brown. This man, he's a full founder members of the group The Pharcyde, and he's here right now. And he's going to talk with us about past, present, future. This man right here. Mr. Brown, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. We have you on the show. It took a minute, but you're here. So
We work it out. We work it out. That's
right,
what it
that's
is. We
right.
work it out. You know what I'm
Work
saying?
it
That's
out.
what we do.
And I definitely appreciate you, you coming on. And we're gonna go back to take a walk down memory lane, bring it in the middle, and take you home from there. That's how we're gonna do that.
Let's go.
Um, First of all, like I said, one of the four founding members of the innovative hip hop group, The Pharcyde. Just name a few albums: Bizarre Ride II, The Pharcyde, Lab Cabin, California, that's 1995, Plain Rap 2000, Humble Beginnings, which is 2004. Those are the albums that the Pharcyde has given the world, which is classic albums from the golden era, which we all love. You know, also hit songs "Passing Me By," "Running," "Drop," "For Better or For Worse," "Your Mama," and "Pack the Pipe." Just a few to name. They have a whole catalog, just a few. Let's go back to how did the Pharcyde come together and form as the group?
Uh, so basically, we all was in high school, LA. I mean, I was from Pasadena, so kind of same area. A lot of dance groups back in that time.
Yeah.
We all would meet at certain places and like it was dance battles and stuff. So, um, I would say that's kind of like how we kind of met each other, just through the whole dancing scene in high school. Um, then eventually, we all came in contact with Jay Swift, and that kind of was like the uniting kind of factor that we all like. He was kind of spitting in our ear from different directions. We would meet him somewhere, and like then it was just like, oh, okay, this is a common denominator. So then that's kind of eventually how we all just kind of like came to one place for sure.
And also, you also talked about how you all was in school, dance school, dancing together, things like that. So was there? I know you also a producer. You know,
Right.
also a producer. You produce. We're gonna get into all of that.
Oh, no, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, we're gonna get into you in a minute. But I'm gonna talk about the group for just for a
For
minute.
sure, for sure, for sure.
And at that time, back in the 90s,
Hmm.
the early 90s, who were the group's biggest artistic influences at that time?
Like I was saying the first time, like we all come from like different dynamics in LA, like the diversity in LA. We all
LA,
kind
yeah.
of like
Hmm.
each one of us was kind of come from that situation. So
Okay.
Imani, basically from Compton, was like NWA kind of fan. I mean, we all basically still love the East Coast sound.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
some more than others. I would say like Lip definitely was more of an East Coast sounding kind of guy,
Hmm.
which Public Enemy was kind of his kind of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
mine too.
Trey was more sing-songy type of guy. So I can't really say put like a co-star dynamic on it,
Too.
but I think more like, he was more into songs and stuff like that. Maybe Trey was more on a skater type thing. So I would say, like punk rock kind of like semi kind of punkish songs probably was on his spectrum. Where me, Pasadena, I mean, you had a cross between uh the Valley Girls,
Yeah,
that whole Valley scene, and then you had, gangsters. So you had the Parliament
a
thumping
mix.
on one side, and like I said, you had Duran on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like the little mixture.
Well, like I said before, Duran was one of my groups also. You have Duran, Hall and Oates. I can take it back. Yeah, one of my
That
a few of my
that
favorite
that,
groups.
that part, like like if people, that was real songwriting. Like it forgot for whatever you want to say, that was like really songwriting, really good.
Exactly. Now when you hear music out here today, we're talking about the new rappers. How do you feel about this music they playing now?
Um, First of all, I think that I just look at when I came into the game. Okay, so like let's say when we came into the game, 90, late 80s, late 80s, 90s, whatever. Let's say, because to me, when people say golden era, the true golden era for me was Big Daddy Kane, was
Rakim, yeah,
exactly. That was that to me, that's the true golden era, because that 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 brought in the sampling, that brought in a different flow style.
yeah,
It
yeah,
definitely was it was a shift. It was a shift in how hip hop was done.
yeah.
So I say that to say that when we were doing it, like the Melly Males or the Furious Fives, or
Sugar
like,
Hill Gang, yeah,
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 like those types of groups, we were almost rebelling on that type of hip hop, because that hip hop was not really seeing what we were doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like you had to rebel to kind of get out there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I look at it as the same. Like, and what I'm not afraid to say, man, I'm 55. You know what I'm saying? So like with put it on that, you have to think of like what, like the many generations. It's not just one generation of rap that we see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Lil Wayne is old school. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Compared to who the people out there now are, like the new rap. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So if I put that into perspective, what these kids are on or what they may like, I could be so far removed from what how their perspective of music is compared to what I feel is music, or what I consider is music. So I really think, like, to assess what the new generation is doing is hard. It's like they just had something where Method Man and Redman was on the stage, and they
yeah.
just
It's
like, yo, like,
they was
this,
sitting there. They don't know them. It's like we don't know who you are. Yeah,
but that's just where it is. You know what I'm saying? Unless, the unfortunate part that I hate to say with our music is that, um if an older guy would try to do something newer, people wouldn't embrace it. They would more or less want to talk about you doing it,
yeah,
because to me it's like, hey, I'm making music and I want to try to stay in the lane. Like, if music is your business and that's what you're doing, like, why would you not try to do something if what you've been doing, um you know the boom bap or whatever we want to call it, is not necessarily the hit anymore. That's not necessarily feeding your family or feeding you. Like, where does the line cross between feeding your family and being artistic? That's where it gets a little sticky.
okay. I was going to ask you: Do you think that there's an age limit on on a rap artist or hip hop artist? You think where should it stop, or never? I mean, at some point, it had to stop.
I don't know. Well, we would want to say it stop, but that's like saying, does a blues player stop?
No,
Does
not
rock
at
and
all.
roll player
That's
stop?
right. There you go. There
Does
you go.
a jazz player stop? Like,
Mm,
we when we're talking, we talk in hip hop in absolute sometimes, because it's the new genre of music.
yeah,
So it's still opening up things. Even though it's 50, it's still younger than jazz. It's still younger than the blues.
get
Still
it.
younger than every music out there.
Funk.
So we don't know it. And right now, with the beef that went on, or whatever you want to call it, with Drake and Kendrick,
Kendrick, yeah.
we still know that it could be number one. regardless of whatever, like the year before, what they were saying, oh, there's no hip hop, and people was like nervous, like this is the first year rap is not on the charts and whatever. But then it's just like, okay, now rap is back on the charts. So now what do we got to say? Like what does it got to say now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I look at it as I think that organization is what we're missing in the
In the industry.
yeah, like there needs to be a union. There needs to be a union. There needs to be certain things that's in place because there is now a generation that has contributed to music, that has set something down. And I think there's a lane if the lane is directed, like, okay, you know what? Hey, we're who is the radio host that that does the cruises? That does like Tony, I
Yeah,
can't think of.
yeah. His name is the older guy,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, he's from
yeah.
I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I know exactly who you're talking about though.
That's where we at. We're
Uh,
dude,
yeah,
we are the wave, we are the
yeah,
broke crews, we
right,
are
right.
the jazz hats. You know what I'm saying? That's just where we at. And it's not bad to be there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
just
it's still a lane.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? If you realize that's where you at and you play your lane and you're, that does that has nothing to say that you go write this incredible song for somebody or you're able to still play back and forth, but just you just kind of got to know your lane. So I think those lanes need to be created, and I think once that is situated, then I think it'd be more understanding of what this is.
If one of the artists from this generation wanted to do a collab with you, who
Hmm.
who who would you do a song with in today's time?
Man, I mean, it depends on what you're saying today. That's what I'm saying. That's the question. Is like what
Like,
today's times it. But let's say if like I like Tyler. I
oh,
think
yeah,
Tyler
yeah,
the
yeah,
Creator has become like solid in what he's doing.
yes.
But is Tyler old school now because he's not necessarily today's
He's not. So I'm talking about
artist.
starting from all these other guys, like like the for instance, like the Sexy Reds or the 21 Savages or these guys. It's a shame I don't even know half of the names, but
Yeah,
the newer generation that's out here now, and they do have a wave going on. They,
right.
you know, so
Well,
just
right. Well, right now, off bat, I think in me just looking at somebody and the person that's doing it, I just have to, and I say it like, man, I have to give a shout out to LaRussell. I think LaRussell is killing the game.
okay,
I think he's one of the standout people, and I like it because
yeah,
he is he's talking business. And I think everybody could relate to that. It's not
talking
necessarily a
business, yeah,
political thing. It's not
talking
necessarily
business,
yeah.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I can think that, and I think that a lot of people are opening up to him. So if you're considering somebody new, I think like I like the wave that he's on. I like what he's doing.
so you'll work with him.
Yeah, I feel like LaRussell is like that's the wave as far as if I'm going in the business
Yeah,
in the business sense, you know what I'm saying? But
okay,
I mean, if you just want to make some songs, then like of course, like you're gonna say somebody like Four Bats or something like that. Like, yeah,
yeah,
man, I want Four Bats on the hook or
yeah,
so, you know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
know,
throw it
you know.
out. But that's cool though. That's cool. You will work with someone. You will do that. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly, for sure.
Let's go back to you being a producer and making some hot tracks. Can you describe a time when you had to collaborate or just make a beat um, with people who have different personalities or work styles? How do you handle a person that just come with a different type of view and you sitting beside them? Like, how do you work with a person like that with different work styles? You know?
I think that. I think that if you, it depends on the person you're working with. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Like what their personality is, what you feel that you can do or present.
Yeah,
And then I think sometimes you got to know when to fall back and when to be that person that comes in and say, okay, I got the idea, and then like you just kind of you come in when you need to come in on a search situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't necessarily uh have to be gung ho and just take over the project and then feel really crazy when somebody says, "Oh, I don't really like that." You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Okay.
Like you gotta, you can't. I think, and not just with music, with life, you just gotta basically say, man, I want the best outcome. It's us starting this podcast 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you want to get it right. So like, compromise. If you can just take the chip off your shoulder, I
Yeah,
mean, you want things to just look right and be the best result. So I think like going in with that headspace,
yeah.
it's kind of easy.
Okay, cool, cool. And you also, it don't, the work doesn't stop there for you. I mean, you like going so fast in this game, and you have a lot. If you look back at your past, you have done some work. I mean, you worked hard to get where you at today, and you have. And you provided vocals for the track "Dirty Harry" from Gorillaz, the second studio album with Demon Days. Can we go back? Can we talk about that?
So we had worked on a project with Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse.
He's like kind of like right before. I mean, he was kind of known. He was kind of doing stuff. And so he was working with this guy called Gemini. And so he asked us to be on the song, and we did the song called Medieval on this project with us, Danger Mouse and Gemini.
Okay.
Then got a call from my manager saying, "Hey, kind of like Brown on this track. We want to see if he want to do this demo." So then basically went up to record this demo. Like the song was, just the beat, not nothing I was used to, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, let me just try and see what came up. And yeah, he just called me back and was just like, yeah, the song got accepted. I was like, accepted for what? Like I had no idea what I was going to demo for, but I was just like, just going for it. So um yeah, after that, he just told me like, yeah, like the and he mentioned Gorillaz. I was like, what? I was like that's crazy. Like I didn't understand it. And so yeah, the next thing I know, like man, just like put on the plane, was out to Africa to go shoot the video. You know what I'm saying? And then like it was just a whole different, like I say, like from that point on, just musical experience and just what I wanted to get out of certain situations and what I see that it just opened up a whole different dynamic to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I would say at that time my mind was hip hop. I didn't think I thought of writing raps, not of writing songs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, we do it. Okay, okay. In 1995, after the release of the album Lab Cabin California, the group split up. The person wanted to know, can we talk about what happened back then and why did you guys go separate ways?
Um, there's a lot of answers to that one, but so I'll just say in a diplomatic way.
Okay,
I think we were going through what every group was going through at that time, which I mean, for us, it was difficult because the label wasn't us doing what we were doing in 90, you said 95.
yeah,
Um, it still was new as far as the type of artist we were, and people and the labels and the music industry couldn't really figure out how to work it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially in California. I would say New York was a little bit more because you already had Brand Nubian, you had Tribe, you had
X Clan, was X Clan out back then? Yeah,
I think probably could have been out, but you had you basically had that kind of sound, that kind of vibe. You had J-Law, like they had already kind of figured out how they could work that sound. For us, it was nobody was out yet. Like the Black Eyed Peas wasn't out yet. There was no Jurassic 5. You had alcoholics, but they were coming from King T, so they had just a different kind of
whole different type of thing going on. Yeah,
swerve of how they was coming, and then you had Hyro up in the Bay, like, you know what I'm saying, which was still like bubbling how we were bubbling at the same time. So you didn't have that climate to understand how to work the mechanics, and I think that kind of made a separation because it was just difficult to not understand why you're getting love over here and why you're getting love over here, but yet the record is not doing, yet you're not really seeing the benefits of the situation. And I think that's just, it just started weighing heavy, and then everybody was kind of figuring out, well, I could do this, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, and then the basics, unfortunately, like we got caught up in the sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of thing. It's the same old standard situation of why things break up.
Wow, well that's well said. For Teresa Bradley, there you go. You have it. You have it. Or Bradley, you have it. Just we can one more far side question. Let's go back to you.
No problem.
Solo. Um, as a okay, if you can recall, what was the Far Side biggest highlight of career of the group's career thus far? So what was the biggest highlight of the Far Side's career thus far that you can think of?
um I would have to just say, I would just have to say the acceptance. I would just have to say the acceptance of I mean, you know, people around us, but mostly like going to New York and going to what we considered at that time was the Mecca. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you going out to New York and you doing a show, and you know, Q-Tip and Biz Markie and everybody that you looked up to come up to you and shake your hand in a way that you're like, damn, I'm part of a family that I don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see these people, like, oh, that's my cut. Like you, it's yeah, like that's the only way that I can explain it. Like, it's part of a family that and you're greeted that way and you're treated that way, and you know, it's important. I guess it's important. That was important for us.
Okay, cool. Well, that was big. That was one of the biggest highlights.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Frank Friction. That's
Right.
like channeling your ego back to. Let's talk about the alter ego Frank Fiction. How do you come up with all that? Let's just talk about that. That's interesting.
I think like I have of course, like when people see it, it's the shock value. Like even with my name Bootie Brown, there's the shock value of it, but people don't understand there's things to it. So Frank Friction, actually, I I felt that when you're being frank with somebody, it causes friction. Does that make sense?
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It's almost saying they take your kindness for weakness, or it's
Exactly.
almost
But see, people don't put it like that, but that's you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
like you think, you know what I'm saying? And that's a
Right,
shock that
right.
I want people to think like, oh man, this is important, or what he's thinking about, like
Yeah,
who's thinking
yeah,
about this? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But the real thing was about it was like when you're frank and you're being frank, like you're gonna cause friction. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
so that was the whole idea behind that. And people say, "Oh, what's Bootie Brown about?" Like, Booty Brown was because back in the day I had a lot of brown weed, which was bad weed, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's the booty weed." You
Oh,
know
so
what I'm saying?
okay, so explain it. It's the weed,
So Booty Brown was like
yeah,
I always had like brown dirty weed, so that name just kind of
Booty
stuck.
Brown.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But
yeah,
when people see it, they're like, "Oh, this guy likes booty," or like it turns into something else, which is cool for me because it's like I think it's one of those things where people say like bad press or somebody talking about you, at least somebody saying something. So
yeah.
whatever makes people feel little whatever. That's what that's about.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that about people's. Everybody has an opinion about somebody in the world. I don't care who you are. They're going to find something bad to say about you, and it's hard to tell somebody something good because a lot of people are so negative. I want to go back to that. This is very important. How do we keep a positive mindset in this cutthroat music in the cutthroat music industry?
A positive mindset.
Yeah, and this
I,
and this and the wicked and this wicked music. And how do you keep a positive mind?
I think that the only way that you get disrupted is if you did not set your goal, if you didn't embed your goals good
Okay,
enough. I think if your goals are embedded in you good enough, you of course you're gonna be upset. There's gonna be like disappointments. There's gonna be whatever,
hmm.
but you're still gonna be locked in, regardless of whatever is going on. You're
Yeah,
gonna be locked in to complete that mission. So
okay,
I think that if I don't think it's how people say like it's never the outside, it's always the inside. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that the industry has always been wicked from day one. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never when it had five artists, when it had one artist, it
It
always
was
was what
always wicked. Yeah,
and it never was for the benefit of the artist. You know what I'm saying? So if you take into consideration that the game has always been the game, it's in your best benefit to, like I said, like embed your goal. What do you want to get out of it? Make sure that every day when you wake up, you're trying to get out of it what you're trying to get out of it, and just push for that. And then I think you just deal with the stuff how it is because the we could say the industry, but man, the industry don't affect gas prices,
at
and
all.
gas prices don't affect food prices, and food like man, like it's still life out there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
So it's just another factor of life, that you got to deal with at the end of the day.
Yeah, basically, I mean, you seem like you cool and calm, man, through all of the negativity and the drama. It's like you flow with it. It doesn't even matter, and that's how
Oh
you
man, you have to.
yeah, that's how you
You
got to
have. I mean, like I said, like I mean, God bless, I've been here to be here. There's like a lot, like man, like I think we've all, if you reached a certain age, we've all experienced a lot of people who ain't here right now. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And to basically be here, um, how can I say? You need to take advantage of it.
Right about that. What have you learned about breaking the rules when it comes to making music?
I think that's the most important thing.
Right?
I think that's like the most important thing. Like I think that how do you know what's gonna work or not gonna work if you don't break a
Break
rule
the
every
rules.
now and then? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I, I'm not saying do something where, I mean, unfortunately, when you say break the rules, that's a good and bad thing because somebody could break the rules, and breaking the rules is saying something that's gonna
And
get some people killed or
that's
get some
right.
people
Incriminate.
injured. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't necessarily want to say break the rules for that and
in a
glorify
good way.
in that situation, but I think like you have to break the rules to uh be different. Like I think the whole thing is or I don't know if that's the thing these days. That's what I could say about when you go back to music these days. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's about being different, but it's so many people I can't say that because what they say, there's 100,000 songs
Yeah,
being made a day or being uploaded. So I can't say like out of that 100,000, I'm pretty sure there is something that's good and
yeah.
somebody really came from the heart. But how do you hear it? Is the question.
Go. How do you hear it? You're right. Because you know, some people, like you said, you can get either you can incriminate something or you can say something wrong when your career is over, breaking the rules. But in music, you find little other things to try to make that thing pop, to make a different sound.
Miles Davis, a good example. Miles Davis had to break the rules to do "Bitches Brew" because he basically was going from an electric sound compared to classic bebop sound where he was wearing the suit and he started wearing hippie clothes and he started doing all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah,
But what is the first record that people go get if you're a Miles Davis person? Like what record do you see? You see that weird cover, you know what I'm
that
saying?
weird. That's right, the weird cover,
You see
which
that bitch.
sells. You know,
Exactly. So that was breaking that was him breaking the rules from what he was used to. Not even breaking the rules of somebody else, but breaking the rules of what he was used to.
that he was used to, and that's well said. Also, you know, do you have an artist whom you look up to, or as a role model in this industry?
Oof, man. You know a sad thing, and I could say it, like I really was a fan of Puff. I really was a fan of Diddy.
Yeah,
I felt, and I don't think that is. I think of what I know, me being novice and what I know from the outside, just looking in. I still would never take away from what I conceptually seen that he was able to do.
musically and all of back then.
Yeah, but just even the business wise, like
Yeah,
him getting into MTV and getting into that lane,
right.
even like you have to figure like Puffy replaced the Russell Simmons. Like Russell Simmons was our first introduction to that black guy, young, starting a hip hop label, but really like people looking at this guy as a mogul. And then Puffy expanded the vision of what Russell Simmons was,
Yeah,
brought it into the media, brought it into whatever. So I would say, like, man, I really was like, because I felt that not that we getting robbed, but we're not taking advantage of the expansion that we could have in the lane. And I think now you have like, Kendrick is definitely doing with like PG Lang and like these other like, there's people that's expanding on it and it's not necessarily maybe I would say like let's say Kanye probably was the first one that was really expanding on the branding of an
right.
artist
That's right.
in more spaces than just the music space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's kind of like where where I'm looking at it as like I don't mind being an artist, but I would like for my art to represent something more that my brand is kind of producing. You know what I'm saying? Like why does my art always have to represent a different brand? Like why do I have to be with Coke or why do I have to be with Sprite? Why can I rep and people
branch out.
like, well, it seems like people find fault when you put your music to your own brand. Like I don't mind doing a Nike, yeah, that's cool. Like I don't mind doing Adidas, but like why can't you create something your own brand
Right.
and your music represent your brand in a stylistic way and an artistic way that you want to present yourself. And
Wow.
so that's why I say like I want to create, that's what I'm looking to create more I don't want to say diversity because the lanes is you're not inventing anything new. I was just talking to somebody. We're basically like improvements. You know what I'm saying? The wheel is already there. It's
It's
like
already there. Improvements
yeah,
now.
Yeah. I'm putting the Pirellis on and shining up the rims. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
What else can I come up with that's a little different from others? This is some improvement,
That's it. That's it. That's it.
And this is another question for artists too, and for you guys also. How important is it for an artist to have ownership, publishing, copyright, and signing a record deal? How important is it for you to own your own masters or whatever the case may be in this industry?
I think that depends on the type of artist you are. Um, I think that a lot of people who says, "Oh yeah, like you should have your masters." Now, let's say you own your masters,
Yeah.
and you want to do you know who you could take it to go get syncing rights? Do you know who you could like? You can have everything.
Oh, it's more to it.
So there's an interview that Lupe Fiasco somebody was talking to Lupe Fiasco, and he was mentioning like, yeah, I want to get my masters, I want to own this, blah blah blah. And somebody came up to him and says like, okay, so when we give you all that, do you even know how to work that? Do you even know how to get the syncing? Do you even know how to get it in this person's hands? Do you know how to get it to the radio? So I say that to say that it depends on what type of artist you are. If you're a hands-on artist and you a hustler, you a mover, you know how to just, you constantly at this days, I think like a social media person and you really on there tough, then you may have a chance. But if you're not really into social media like that, you're a person that come from an old school type of way. You had a label at first, and you're not really hands on like that. Then I wouldn't say that you having your masters is the best thing for you because you may not get what you want to get out of it because it's going to require much more work from you as an individual
Wow.
to get that
Wow.
stuff going.
Something I did not know. Yeah, can you name a record that you believe changed the course of hip hop?
Um, I think there's different things for different. So I would say Rakim, Eric B and Rakim change
Of course.
the lyrical aspect of hip hop. I think after Rakim, rhyming was just different.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the same. Um, musical wise, wow, what would I say? Because it would have to be a Marley Marl project because Marley Marl basically brought in sampling. So I would have to say it would have to be something Marley Marl. I mean, like Juice Crew or something like that. This, like
Okay.
because I think like the whole when Marley started doing sampling, like that, and the reason why I say Juice Crew because you had everybody, you had Big Daddy Kane, you had everybody that kind of like started that whole bam that just went out. Um,
That's when, yeah, you're right. When they came out with Marley Marl, the Juice Crew, and but for me, I would say NWA when they start bringing in the gangster,
well,
or
that's just that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
different time. There's different records that brought in different things
Okay, okay, okay,
for what we have, how we have hip hop today.
yeah,
Um,
right. You're right.
so because that would be saying like you can't say uh Big Boy Andre, Outkast like one of their records wasn't big for the Atlanta scene. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of their records definitely opened up a lane for the Atlanta scene. But to me, the most pivotal moment that I think that I don't know if people could see it, but it's for me. I just say from my observation. I think the most pivotal moment was TLC getting nominated for hip hop.
Wow, that crazy, sexy, cool album, right? Or
I
just
think that to,
as
to
a
me
whole. Mhm.
to me that was most pivotal thing because
Yeah,
as a hip hop person, I didn't understand how that was considered hip
hip
hop.
hop. You're right. You're right.
And after that, the lane for what hip hop was called was so wide. Like this R&B record could be hip
Hip
hop now.
hop. Anything could be hip hop. No
You know
matter.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so to me, that was a pill. And the reason why it was pivotal because it was an award show. So now you have an award show that's basically placing this. What I felt was, I mean, I felt that TLC was more R&B. Like I'm not saying they didn't have the elements of hip hop,
Yeah.
but for it to be rap album and considered that was it was confusing to me. And
You
I
know,
think it opened up a whole lot.
you know what I find confusing too? You absolutely right. This is what I find confusing when a person mentioned hip hop. KRS-One said, even if you look it up, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. What is your take on that alone? Because hip hop to me is a lifestyle, and rap is just rap. So when we talk about the golden era, is that all hip hop or was it rap? For me, I'm tugging with that. You
No,
know?
I think the whole thing about it is a lot of people just don't understand. Like everything from the past wasn't real. And I think a lot of times when we say 90s, we just want to just make it like everything from the 90s was just real.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of whack fake shit in the 90s, just it was just
Right.
like how it is
Right.
now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I would say that it's hard to say because a person that could be just rap could embrace hip hop, and a person that is hip hop could lose everything and just be a rapper. You
Wow.
know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
So it's hard to say because basically, as it's like when you and I'm speaking of like being in music so long. So like let's say DMX or Ja Rule, like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not saying this in no disrespect. I feel like a lot of people don't understand. We've been in the game a little longer than those gentlemen, and I.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
But
course.
when they came in, I just looked at them as like these guys are copying Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
But at that time, yeah,
And,
everybody.
but letting them grow, letting them expand, letting them do what they, regardless of how a lot of people like, let's say maybe it wasn't them that was kind of want to be on that. Let's say the record company
Record label. That's right.
staged them to
That's
look like that. Like, man, you need to look like the hottest guy out there.
right.
You
And
got a bald head, you black,
yeah,
man, you better put a rag on that head and look like, you
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look like a gangster, look like Pac.
But
Yeah.
that to me, that's what it, so you had automatically had some like, oh man, these fools trying to be pop, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was. But then like later, like DMX is DMX. I don't go like man, like what? Huh? What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Ja Rule's Ja Rule. I can't take nothing away from them. And they had to have time to grow into what they are. So I put it, so that's why I say like, I look at rap. You may start off rapping, but you embrace the love for hip hop because it's something. But you could be a hip hop person from the soul and
Yeah.
and sell it out the next day because you couldn't get the bag, or now your mind is drifted, or you trying to figure something out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Basil, who worked in American
Yeah. So basically, Tony Basil, like,
Basil.
how can I say, like, you ever heard that song? Hey Mickey, you're so fine.
You still find your blow my head? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's Tony Basil.
Wow, okay.
But basically, Tony Basil was a dance historian that you would like, you wouldn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? So basically, like, she had like VHS tapes of all these like different pop lockers and stuff like that. The Skeeter Rabbits, like just
Yeah.
different stuff, jazz musicians, Nicholas Brothers, just all these things. So Tony Basil was basically kind of, and I think up to the day she still worked with like Bette Midler, like you know what I'm saying. So like Tony Basil was like doing like Broadway stuff, things of that nature. So
Excuse me. Excuse me. Is she a part of the Go Go or no? The group
no,
or the Go Go?
no. Tony Basil was kind of on her. She was kind of on her
Oh, no.
own.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But she did like she would choreograph like a lot of Broadway stuff. Like I said, Bette Midler, Barbara Streisand, that kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That like stuff you don't even think about. Like damn, like I didn't know Barbara Streisand need a choreography, but then you see there's dancers behind her. So okay, yeah, that needs so. Yeah, Tony Basil is very essential as far as like opening up some history about dance and where it came from, and just through Tony Basil, basically. I mean, really, I wasn't going to even do the whole music thing. I had auditions to like Janet Jackson. That's all I was thinking
Okay.
about the whole other stuff. So you know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
So
Exactly.
you had auditions with Janet Jackson.
Yeah, for sure.
How was that working with her?
Didn't necessarily work with her. So basically, I had a friend that was a partner. Like we did dance classes, choreographing together. It was
Yeah.
like a dance studio here called Regina's that was in LA back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a lot of we did like a lot of videos and stuff. Like let's say like what I did Stone Cold Gentleman, like choreographed that. Did some guy videos, did like some, new edition, like
Yeah.
that scene, you know what I'm saying? That
Little,
was blowing up.
little bit of everything. You know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so like, TV shows and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So we would have like, people from different world or something be in the class. Michael Jamal Warner, just people
Yeah.
that like that would be in the class, doing their little hip hop. So when they got on the shows, they could do their little hip hop dance or whatever they were gonna do, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that kind of opened up. I mean, all of that opened up while we were able to move around and just be able to talk to people.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, you wear a lot of hats. You've been around. You know.
We
But
man, I'm old. You know what
no,
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying like
Okay, you gotta move around.
yeah,
You
you
gotta move
definitely.
around.
But your journey was beautiful, man. You we talk about from the early, I say the late '80s up until now. You know what I mean? So you had the group because you went on by yourself and started doing some things too. And this goes with my next question: what's your favorite track from your own discography? I can know, and what makes it stand out to you? What's your favorite track from your own catalog?
I
Yeah.
always tell people I haven't made my best work yet. I haven't heard yet.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying? And
okay.
when I hear it, that's probably gonna be from the past, because every time you hear something that so I try not to. My goal right now, as this age looking into the music thing, I want to make a catalog of music that um shows the progression and the evolution of, like I said, from rap to songwriting.
Okay.
That's and not saying that somebody had a degree, I feel like, the Andre 3000s did a very good job of going from, well, not even with the flute, just when he was, from the hey yas, like that's not traditional rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that you heard to make it, the CeeLos, and like there's ways that you can create songs these days, and you could still be in connect with your base as far as whether it's hip hop or whatever,
Mhm.
but you can, so that's what I want to do. Like I want to be able to create songs.
Songs. So you just want a catalog where you can just have song, you know, when you 60, 65, you can relax and they still playing all your music.
I
Wow.
think I think like like I want to think more Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. But you have to put your mind in that state. You have to treat yourself like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's I we knew Ramsey Lewis's son. His name was Bobby Lewis, but he would talk about his Ramsey Lewis, famous jazz pianist. He
Yeah.
said, my father still wakes up every day and practices 6 to 7 hours on the piano. He's like,
Wow.
that's just standard. That's what he
That's what
does.
he do. I mean, he been
You know
doing
what I'm
it for
saying?
so long.
So I want to, that's where I'm at. Like it's part of me already. Like it's almost second nature that I try to record a song or I do something, but it's taking it like take the music we're luckily the way music is today and there is the borderlines. You could play with it, you know what I'm saying? It's not so much of like how it was back in the day where like, okay, we just want to hear those three verses and we want to hear those three choruses, we don't want to hear nothing else, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we want to hear. Nowadays you could do one verse, the song be over. You could do something where there's no hooks.
Yeah.
You could, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like it's limitless to what you can do and what you could present, which that kind of still it's exciting that you can at least have some work outside of the boundaries in some type of way.
Wow. That's another good answer. Well said. You know, is there an album that you wish more people knew about? And why would you recommend that album?
An album that I wish more people knew
Oh
about.
God, yeah. Something you've made. Something in your
I don't know if it's something that I made that I wish.
but you could just say, oh,
Because I think like I look at it like people. I think that I try to create music that you will get to a position and understand it. I think some like a lot of times like if you push people and like they're not in that headspace,
yeah,
they can listen to something and won't understand it because it could just go way
the
over
past,
over
yeah,
their head at their time. But I think like if certain people are in a situation that was similar to what you're explaining,
yeah.
then your music could kind of have a little bit more reflective to to what their lives are going through. But I don't know. That's a good question. I can't say what record I think that you know it 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 depends on how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? You said X Clan. Sometimes when I'm mad and somebody to cut me off of that other whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, man, you need to listen to X Clan, you know what I'm
That's right.
saying? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Let you know where you come from, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right. That's right. And the X-Clan was one of my favorite groups, man. You're right.
Yeah, it depends where you at. Sometimes you be like, man, because it just take you, like you be like, yeah, you need to listen to this because you feel a little above
Yeah,
yourself right
yeah.
now. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
avoid and mellow out. Check this out and mellow out or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Realize where you come from. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you had to pick one song,
Mm.
just think of one song to describe your musical journey, what would it be?
One song to describe my
Musical journey.
wow. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know if there could be one song to describe
Yeah, your musical
music
journey.
journey. One song. It depends on the time of life. Like we were saying, Stevie Wonder. I think Stevie Wonder makes good songs. You know, I used to that song "Living in the City." I used to really, but I think if I was to say a general song, not for me, but just everybody, I think I would have to say Marvin Gaye, "What's Going On."
What's going on?
I think that song, it rings to everybody. There's something that anybody can pick from that and say, "Damn, that's happening right now."
You can relate to it. Everybody.
Yeah,
That's a worldwide relatable song.
yeah,
What's going on? That's a good one. That's a great one. Like what's going
yeah,
on? Marvin Gaye.
yeah. I think that is some reason that that song would just
That's
we would wish that that song wasn't a standard, but it's a standard in our lives.
yeah, yeah. And the crazy part about it is it's still going on.
Yeah,
Everything he said is still going on to this day.
yeah, yeah. So I would say just you know, in I think that question, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. It's that question that you ask yourself sometime throughout the day, like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on?
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right. You're right. And that song right there he made is for the future and for
Yeah,
beyond. Like that's a great song that he put
yeah,
there. He probably didn't even know how far it was going to go.
yeah. Oh, you know, man, I think he felt it. That's the one thing I could just say as songwriters and musicians, like there is that feeling.
But you could
I
feel
don't know. Yeah, there's a feeling like when you have that, and it's
it.
just something like it just stays in your head, and you can't, and it don't leave you, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, I can't wait to play this for somebody else because it's staying with me so heavy. Like I just like, man, if it's staying with me, I think some it may stay with somebody else, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and you're like, this is the one. You know in your heart, this is it right here.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it.
Well, Mr. Brown, aka Woody Brown from the Far Side, the legendary group The Far Side. Let me get it right.
Oh no, you know, man.
I want to
Yeah, we
thank you,
good.
man. I do. We asked for him and he's here.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. I want you to continue on. Hopefully, this, you know, help somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
That's. I think that's what we try to do is spread the word and help people who want some answers.
that's right. I just have one more for you. Just one
Yes,
more.
sir. Yes, sir.
If you can change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Oh, wow. If I could change anything about the industry, what would it be? Hmm. I don't know. I think
Hmm?
that's a good question, but I just something just fast thinking off the brain because I never thought about the question, but you hit me with it and I'm just thinking fast. Maybe, maybe could be something whereas like the political thing where we vote for people to be in positions.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Like let's say like record company presidents and such and
Yeah.
such people were like I
Exactly.
think
No. Yeah.
yeah I think if I think that if people were in certain places could be, and not saying that it needs to be like a president, like you can only do 4 years. I think like if the people voted you in
That's right.
and people whatever that, then I think
You got a
that
certain
would
amount of
change a
time.
lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it because I think what's going on is that yeah, I would arrange it so that people would like the head people, like the people that are head would have to be voted in by the people, by the
Of
artists.
the artists. Wow. So they can have a short time to do what they got to do. Then you get voted again. You can either go out or you can stay in. So you,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think the process that we suffer in music industry is that you have people that's been there 20, 30 years, 50 years, however long they've been there, and they're cozy in their situations. And who would want to leave if you're making 5 million a year, 6 million
Right.
a year?
That's right.
You're gonna always want to be doing that.
That's
But I think that if the artist was able to vote in and say, okay, who is gonna give us what we want? This person come and say, man, I promise you guys are going to have better Spotify rights and
yeah.
we're going to make sure this, then,
Streaming, yeah, streaming, all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah, whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pitch what you going to sell, man. What you going to do for us? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you would change the aspect of the bosses, the top people in the industry, the ones
That's
that
where you got to start. You can't start from the bottom. The bottom is the
that's what
bottom.
I'm saying. You're gonna get the ones that runs everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people should know who they are. I think that's the main thing is that people really don't know who these main people are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think like the exposing of like, okay, these are people, but I think if they were shifted and the artist could vote for these people to be accountable for what they do, I think that would be the ticket.
Ticket. Well, that's well said. Also, it is, man. And I want you to continue on making great music. Just keep doing your thing like you always been doing.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure if you're doing this, we'll round it up. We'll
Just
come back
somewhere.
and
Yeah.
we'll
Yes.
come back and revisit. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing it. Like I said, man, hopefully what you're doing is helping somebody and I don't do it too often, but hopefully that what somebody heard it and it, all you don't have to change the world just one. You know what I'm saying? If you could change just one.
You get one, then you can continue on getting more.
Exactly.
And change. Start with yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's where we at.
Yep.
Yeah. But I want to shout out A Vision Entertainment for taking time. This is Brown from the Pharcyde. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing some other stuff out there, not just Pharcyde. So you can catch me out there. But A Vision Entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Keep it locked right here. Brown. Peace.